Hello and welcome to more nerdy rodent geekery. Today I am looking at Deepdreamtravel. What is this? Well, Deepdreamtravel allows you to turn a single image into a video, diving through various layers of a neural network. This effect is achieved by recursively feeding the image into the network and regularly switching the targeted layer. Here it is on GitHub. You've probably seen the previous couple of videos I've released that look a little bit like this. Zooming in and going all a little bit weird. Now, installation looks simple, but it is a little bit twiddly, this one, mostly because it seems to be written primarily for Windows. So there's a few other things you have to do. Anyway, so installation, it says download the code and look at example.py. It's got a few dependencies there, and you also need a pre-trained model of some sort. Now, installation here, so we've got the download here, git clone. It's got the dependencies there, but there isn't a requirements.txt or a YML file for Conda, so I just did this. Conda create minus name Deepdreamtravel, and did it with a Python 3.7. Obviously activated that, and then installed the dependencies there. So Pillow, Cafe GPU, OpenCV, and PSUtil it needs as well, actually, but that isn't listed there. I then made a models directory. So I've got just a little models directory in there, and downloaded the pre-trained model. So that one there is the GoogLeNet Places205. So that's this thing down here. So it's got a note and some interesting models, it says. So that takes you over here. Then you've got the Places205 GoogLeNet. Now that's a zip, that particular one. So you will need to extract that a little bit. Now this is the paper, I think, that goes with this. It's got up here, please cite our NIPS 14 paper if you use these CNNs, and I think this is the paper. It hasn't got a link on that other page, but I did a little search and that seems to be the paper that they're referring to there, but unfortunately there aren't any other links, so I can't be 100%. Anyway, there is also this fantastic model zoo on GitHub as well. So this has got, so you've got a few CNNs there, a few pre-trained models, but there's loads of other ones here, loads of other ones to try. So yeah, you can dive into quite a few models with this. It looks quite fun. I've done two so far, and yeah, they look interesting. So once you do have that installed, which is, like I say, fairly reasonable, you do need to start playing with a few things, because like I said, it's mostly written for Windows, so there's a few Linuxy things you have to do to make it cross-platform and all that stuff. Now the main one is Tempter. So at the moment we're looking at this example.py. So this is what the example.py has, so it just basically imports the stuff, and then you'll need to change these two lines, the dreamer and the dreamer.generate. So the dreamer is easy, that it's just your models. So you've got the proto-text file and the cafe model. So for example here, I've got my models directory, I've got the GoogLeNet Places205, and there we've got the cafe model and the proto-text, and these are some of the others I've got. Those are the only two files you need. So the zip file's got loads of other files in there, but you only need two. So basically the deploy proto-text and the cafe model, those are the only two things you need. So if you go off to the Model Zoo or any of those other downloads of Places365, it's just those two files. Then you've got the Dreamer Generate. Now this is what the usage thing is relating to. So you've got dreamer.generate here. So input image, obviously the image you want. Node switch, how often you should switch layers. So if you've got a model, say with 10 layers, that's going to go through 100 times, with a node switch of 10. If you've got, you can pump your node switch up a lot longer and spend a lot longer in each layer if you want to, or switch it down lower and just go through the layers really quickly. So that's what I'm doing here. I've got a node switch of 2. This is basically just so it'll run through. You can see an example of it running really quickly. Next one is the Resize Coefficient. So that's basically how much it'll zoom in by each time. I've done it by a really tiny amount, so it will not zoom in very much at all. Show iterations, basically it'll pop a little image up on the screen every that many iterations. I've put that up to 200, just so I don't get loads of images pop up on the screen. Offset directory, well, there you go. Now this temp directory is one of the things you need to change. So that's a Windows specific thingy there. So in my one, you basically just specify the directory. If you want to change that default, that's down in here. So in the Deepdreamtravel.py, you got the temp there with that Windows specific little hard coding on there. And then start iteration, index and offset if you want to change where you're doing it. Max iteration false. If false, all layers will be explored. Basically, that's the one I've been using. Octaves 4, so that's higher least of better visuals. Again, I've dropped this down to 3 just so it will run a little bit quicker. You can go all the way down to octave 1 if you want a really fast run. And then we've got iterations as well per octave. I've dropped that down to, where are we? 8 on this one, so again just to run a little bit quicker. But if you want higher quality, you can increase that. Octave scale, that's the resize per octave. Where am I on that? Octave scale 3. I've gone quite high on that one just because I'm crazy. Output video, I've actually changed in mine because when you run it, the script doesn't actually produce a video, but it does keep all the frames. So this delete temp here, true, again doesn't actually work on Linux. So it doesn't matter if you set delete temp equals true or false, it won't create the video and it won't delete the frames. And then max memory. So that's what I've got set up there for Linux at the moment. So I've got a little 512 image, Meerkat. Now the smaller the image, this is a 512 by 512 image, the quicker it's going to run through. If you've got a 1920 by 1080 image, it's going to be a lot slower. Now then, I've got other things in here. So again, Windows only in this utility file over here. It's got this Windows specific double backslash thingy. Now, if you're on Windows, that might just work straight away. I don't know, haven't tested it. If you're on Linux and you want to fix it really quickly, just put the slashes round the other way. Or what I've done is just put in the platform agnostic code, so it doesn't matter whether it's Windows or Linux, it just puts the slashes around the right way based on this path. So I imported pathlib. And just put that in there instead, so that should work on either operating system. Haven't actually tested it on Windows, don't know. Works on this one anyway. So yeah, and then this doesn't seem to impact anything. Everything seems to work, but there is a warning about the matrix parameter which changed in SciPy 0.18. There is a SciPy 0.17.1 available in CondaForge, but that's like right at the bottom of the list. It's so old that then the script doesn't actually work because it's got a numpy dependency, and it's like no. So yeah, I'm not sure about that warning. Anyway, so yeah, as I said, the Python example there may work on Windows, but on Linux it certainly fails to generate a script. So what I've done is basically use ffmpeg to make the script because it doesn't delete any of the frames. So in the temp directory, you'll get a load of files in there. So all I've done is ffmpeg, take all the JPEGs in that temp directory and turn them into a video called Deepdreamtravel.mp4. Fine. Okay, so let's have a little look at that going. So I've got the images. So there's the Meerkat. There's the input image. So we are just going to dive into a Meerkat in my Deepdreamtravel conda in the right directory. Yeah. So we can just, whoops, I can remember what it's called. There we go. This will just take a few seconds to dive in. Might have to speed up time slightly. Right, I think somewhere in there it said something about an error. Oh yeah, error file not generated. So that's what it does on Linux. I haven't actually bothered looking in there to find out where it calls another image generation script, which is somewhere in here. Where are we? Deepdreamtravel. Image to video. Yeah. So there's this image to video script it calls. So rather than looking at that and finding out why that's wrong. I just did that one FFmpeg line, so yeah, if you want to fix it a different way, that's probably great. But anyway, yeah, so FFmpeg does that. Output the video, we'll get rid of that image magic. There's this one down, and then we can deep dream travel into the Mercat. Ooh. There you go. And that's because I've got the zoom down really low. It just goes crazy. So there you go. Anyway, deep dream travel, quite lots of fun, and yeah, enjoy. Rodent out.